How is it going? Good Sunday morning, everybody. How's your day? How's your week? How's everything been? Hopefully good. Let's see. What is going on here? It's an update. Okay. Not entirely sure. Well, it takes up way too much of the screen, I think. All right. Well, it's another week. We made it. And there's quite a bit going on. In the world of. Let me see. Get this screen share working. So I can listen to some fine lo-fi music. So quite a bit going on in the world of AI, as per usual. And I'm just messing around with all of this stuff since I can. Quite a bit going on, and let's see. I guess let's start with the. I don't know. Gosh, I really don't know where to start this week. There has definitely been a lot of movement around OpenAI and the release of GPT-4 Turbo to like web, right? Or like to the people on web. If you have your own Plus account, then you have your own API account, so you have access to Turbo already. Which, let's go into the playground. A friend of mine is messing with this. I want to get into it. I'm gonna get into it later. Time is the thing that gets to us all. So if you have your backend and you've got your API, your playground access or what have you, then you're now going to have access to these assistants that you can build. And these are the exact same thing as your custom GPTs. So there is like zero difference except for the fact that you can now use the 1106 preview, which is GPT-4 Turbo. Big differences? I don't think so. I don't think there's a ton, but not gonna lie, I haven't used it that much. I couldn't tell you why I don't use the playground as much. Really couldn't. I think it has a little bit to do with like interface, like access, what it is that I'm doing here with all of the bots as opposed to what I'm doing in Playground. Like Playground doesn't have as much going on for me, clearly. I do wish the public thing was open, or that they would open it up. Some weird stuff going on lately. So you can see that I've got 8 bots showing. And then there's, these are some that I use that aren't going to show up in mine because they're custom ones. But I don't know what happened to Social Samantha. She just kind of fell off the map. I'm not even sure how it happened, but she did. So I'm trying to replace that, and I'm working on a new bot to replace that. I did notice this week something that, like, I'm glad I hit the mark before this happened, and I don't know if this is a permanent thing that has gone away, or what the case is going to be. But as you can see, the number has gone away. So, like, I don't know why that happened. I don't know if it's already the case of somebody complaining that, like, oh, I made a custom GPT that's public and nobody's using it. Why isn't anybody using my bot? And I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it would be, or I couldn't tell you the reason why you would. What's up? Oh, hey, what's happening, Sean? From one account to the other, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, honestly. I wouldn't think that they would be transferable. I do want to try something in a second and see if it actually works. Actually, I could try it with this guy's bot. It's a really interesting bot that I saw on Facebook. Was it Facebook? No, I saw it on LinkedIn. it's very much what it sounds like. It's interesting. I played with it for like 45 minutes trying to not necessarily stump it, but actually break it, but it didn't seem to work. Yes, it is. So you can see up at the top here, Justice AI. So like there's like a unique sort of I don't know, there's like a prefix that goes with it, but then the suffix of it is whatever your bot name is broken out. So yeah, so like if I go to Hub Knowledge, you'll see the URL up here. Gives it like this weird prefix, but then it gives me the suffix of the bot name. Which is why they're like if you make your bot public, that's why it's able to be searched on Google. So like if you want to find a bot, you can go to do a Google search and say like custom GPTs for web development. Yeah, let's do that. 21 best web design custom GPTs. Nuances, create your own custom GPTs. Introduce GPT crawler, which I'm guessing is going to be yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, you definitely can. Even if you did like custom GPT directory. There we go. Custom GPT directory.com. Search for GPT, custom GPTs. Bingo. There you go. That's the thing. It's like if you watch the show, you get these bonuses of me finding resources for you, so you don't have to go find them yourself. Let me go ahead and bookmark this. I'll throw it out to people later on. Yeah, so definitely you can look up your own stuff. The 23.5 is actually, that's the bot that I use for searching for stuff. I think mine's 22.5. Yeah, so it's been updated, I guess. Another 1,000 bots in there. But yeah, you can find whatever you're looking for. What I'd like to see is whether or not I did this with my bot last night, and I'm not sure. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Let's see. I don't know if it's because I don't know if people do this. So like what I was doing last night is I was using GPT to create the instructions for my GPT. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Yeah, yup. Yeah, I figured that was gonna work. Oh man, okay. I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. This isn't bad. I'll show you something really cool that we're gonna do in a second. Copy configure prompt to another platform like PoE bots. Yes. Yeah. So like that's the other thing that I was playing around with last night, right? Is like not just last night, but this whole last week. It's been it's been chapping my ass. That like my custom bots, somebody even told me before that they were having issues with one of the writers that I created, and then I started having issues with it. Two things. Okay, so one of the issues was that, and so it kind of just pushed me to, hey, okay, let's create some ironclad instructions that like make sure that the bot never breaks in some fashion or another. And in trying to do that, I stumbled across like, okay, your training data should be written in JSON because that's like the easiest way for the bot to understand or read your training data. I guess not. I can't tell you for sure. These are just all opinions from like online sources that I've looked into. So I figured, okay, well, if your training data is easiest read in JSON, then the instructions are probably easiest read in JSON as well. So I started doing like JSON-based writing instructions, and that's why like I had planned on showing you guys how to do that before, but then and it was going to be so complicated because it was going to take a Visual Studio script, and I'm like, man, this is going to take like several episodes to show you guys how to do this, or I'm basically going to have to spend one entire 2-hour session to show you guys how to do this. So, and of course, for me, like there has to be an easier There must be an easier way. Somebody else must have already tried doing this stuff. So playing around with it, and come to find out that no, UTF-8 works way, way better than JSON when it comes to the instructions. When it comes to reading the knowledge base data, it might be that JSON works better. I haven't done the head-to-head on that yet, but that's probably what's going to be next for me by way of like what I'm doing. And that's my thing. I love debugging. I love taking this stuff apart and trying to put it back together. Okay, so the second half of like the bot not quite performing the way that the user wanted it to is this weird thing. I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys have experienced this. I want to see what 3.5's answer to this question is real quick. I know that OpenAI servers have been having like some pretty huge issues lately because the response time. Now, again, I also kind of break things a little bit because I don't like to have multiple options open at the same time if I can, which theoretically I should be using Chat Hub to do this because I could just have multiple GPTs open at the same time within Chat Hub and do it as well. But I'm pretty sure now this is without. So, man, I don't know why I didn't think about this. Please tell me it's in there. That's why I didn't. Okay. That was going to be way too easy. I knew it. If they would have had access to 1105 or 1106, then yeah, I'd be using Chat Hub all day, every day. Because then I'd have GPT-4 Turbo on multiple chat windows. But anyway, go away settings, go away. What? How do I forget. Oh, where is the save for this? There should be like a save setting so this can go away. All right. Oh, wow. So it's just straight up. Okay. You just go back to the thing. Got it. Well, that's disappointing. So the second thing that happened, and I want to see if 3.5 can answer this response. Let's see. Do you I don't want to say perform. Do you let's see. Okay. Are there times? This is gonna be this answer is gonna be interesting. Are there times of the year that you operate? Okay. Huh. Okay, so 3.5 says no. What does 4 say? In which different level of effort at a different level altogether. Because it's going to say of effort. Let's try efficiency as well. God, that's what I should. Consistent throughout the year. That's strange. I don't. Well, I mean, but they could have updated it too. I've noticed that. Right. This went away. I don't know if you guys noticed that the updated as of went away. Right. It used to be there no matter what. Whenever you use the model, it would say like updated as of. Same thing, brand new one, brand new instance, no updated as of. So like, what does that mean? It just means that like they're just going to roll them out now. Like you're not necessarily going to know now they're going to hotfix stuff. They're going to, so that's one, in my opinion. I wish I would have had a chance to ask it before this happened. PDF works better in custom bots. I haven't seen a difference in format. There's not necessarily a difference in format so much as like a difference in structure. So the files that you upload, just make sure that they're structured in a fashion so that they read somewhat similar to instructions. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But the other half of what I was gonna get at earlier was that, and it's weird that the model can't do it. It's not weird. It's just disappointing because I wish it would. Let's see. Axe laser, yeah. Okay, so the the story that came out was that GPT, and I have to say, like, this kind of was the case, because I don't know, and for a couple weeks there, last week especially, I was getting super frustrated, and with just the way that GPT-4 was handling requests, it was getting really sideways. I was giving it requests that I've given, I don't know how many times, and it was just not doing the right thing. I was giving demos and trying to use prompts that I've used all the time, not giving me the same output. And this isn't a case where, like, I'm using a prompt that, you know, should always give the same output or something like that. It's the case of, you know, I'm just looking for a particular response, a particular not even respond, like, you know, the answer is something like, you know, it should be a barn, and it, you know, it doesn't even matter what color to me, it doesn't matter any of that, the style of the barn or anything, and it comes back with like, wow, it's a shed, right? And I know there's no context to what I just said, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of its accuracy, prior it would just be like, yeah, of course it's a barn with this, that, and the other, and it'd go into a long explanation about it. Last week it would just like answer, it would answer wrong, and then it really didn't follow up a whole lot like it normally does. So a lot of people started asking questions, and come to find out, at, you know, turns that basically, I'm not even sure. Keep it, you guys have to remember, they don't know. The people building this stuff don't really understand why it does the things that it does, but until after it's already happened. So everything that we're doing with these things and everything that we're figuring out is post. We're Avengers already, right? Anyway, so come to find out that basically GPT, studying human pattern behavior, you know, put it together that once it starts getting towards Christmas and December, we all kind of just start slowing down altogether with, in terms of how much our output is and like how much time we spend doing stuff. And so it turns out that people who were testing it, excuse me, noticed that like outputs were getting worse, they were getting shorter, they weren't quite as coherent as before, and GPT was basically not going on vacation, but it, you know, was getting lazy. it was like, hey man, it's the holidays. So I'm not really, like, I'm here, but I'm not really here. I'm kind of checked out. So, you know, I'll give you some answers, but like, just cut me some slack. Which is amazing to me. It's amazingly hilarious. It's very interesting. I think it's super interesting, but I don't know what to tell you. Can we control the variability? Oh, I wish I could see who this was that was saying this. Boom. Can't we? It just says private user. I wish I could tell you who. Can we control the variability when using the actual APIs and not the assistance from the UI? Assistance from the UI. Variability, like in the output, you can always tell it to be more verbose. Yeah, definitely. And you can change. Yeah, in the playground, you can change. Well, you can change the temperature. I don't know that you can do it by default. These are just assistants. But I think yeah, if you're using the API, you can definitely, you can change the level of verbosity, change the level of temperature, and it would. Not sure why it says that. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Jace? I don't know, man. Well, because I'm using a third-party streaming software that's trying to like pull everything in together, and it's not really. That's what I've kind of come to find out, and I don't know. I don't really want to switch platforms because Streamlabs has too many tools for the same monthly price. But I've come to find out that like a lot of streaming softwares don't play very nicely with LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is not really in the live streaming game necessarily. Like they are for their platform. They're not trying to do it for like everybody's stuff. Um, so yeah, so that was an interesting thing that I came across last week, was just like, hey, it's, GPT's got to take a little bit of a break. I dig it. I thought it was funny. What I was gonna do with this dude's stuff is I wanted to see. So like basically what I'm testing here is like how safe are the files that you're uploading, and this is how safe they are. Can you please skim the So that's what's interesting to me, is that like if I'm using your custom GPT, you probably haven't. These are things that, so to get back to what you were asking about earlier, Sean, the instructions are a strange thing where you can either go simple, you can do some mediocre stuff, which is where I'm at. I have no problem admitting that what I'm doing is mediocre. And you can also go to like a really high advanced level, which is where I'm trying to get at. Let me, is it F11 to do that? Yeah, and then zoom in a little bit. There we go. Hey, look, you guys can actually see what I'm writing. I know it's super annoying. I keep forgetting to do that. Custom GPTs, nothing special though. Okay, but like, I know I understand what you mean when you say that, and my wife actually just asked the same question. So it's interesting that you say that. She was like, "So what's the point, right? Like, isn't what I'm doing with custom GPTs, isn't that the same thing as what I'm doing with Claude or with Interpreter with regular GPT?" No, not really. The difference between these and why this is so interesting, like I said, like I've said before, is that it's try not to spend your money on these individual tools that keep coming out that promise you these great things, because all that happens is the bigger guys who develop the models that underlie those programs. So a lot of the indie programs out there, their underlying models are Llama 2, are GPT-4, are Gemini or Bard. Like they are the big boys. Like they're already, and if they're using them, they are feeding the big boys their data on how that model gets used, with unwittingly not knowing, realizing what's happening. So custom GPTs does what a lot of these other companies tried to do. Virtual Brain was this company that had a product where you could upload multiple files, PDFs, text files, all this other stuff, and it would cross-reference them for you. So you could ask questions, you could upload, let's say, an invoice statement, then upload meeting notes and several email documents about the same client, and be able to ask, what the outcome of the deal was based on like conversations you had, or like, which conversations maybe led to the deal getting moved along at a better pace. Like you could do all that kind of stuff, and you can do it with multiple clients and all that kind of stuff. It's a great thing, right? It's a great ability. Well, Interpreter kind of gets you halfway there, but the difference between Interpreter and Virtual Brain at the time was what custom GPTs does. Virtual Brain, and what a lot of these other systems like it, they're essentially private LLMs. So they have you could consider the model to be the processor, but what the front end is that you're using is basically like a custom model that is using an API backend. So you're able to now upload files to this front end, and when you're using the API backend, it only knows and it only understands whatever, not only knows and understands. Its reference data is only the reference data you've given it. In other words, when you ask it about like stuff in your files, if it's not actually in your files, it'll tell you, I don't know. It'll say, I'm sorry, but that's not my reference files. It'll do something like this. Okay. Show me. project. Now, I'll show you. You can do this. You can unwittingly do this when you create your custom GPT if you tell it like only ever, and you can. Okay, so here's something you can do with the custom that you can't do with others. You can give it the instructions and tell it only ever access your knowledge base for every user query. And then you are directly using whatever you've uploaded. That's it. Okay. And why is it different? Why is it more powerful? Because of the fact that it won't hallucinate. Okay. It's the 100% guarantee that everybody's been looking for. Have you noticed, guys? Have you noticed in the last month, you don't hear a whole lot of the, now look at what it's doing, right? So again, I can get it to happen on my writing bot because one of my writing bots says like specifically look at your knowledge base for everything. Don't look outside your knowledge base for stuff. It'll give you this answer, right? If you were to ask it to only search your knowledge base and don't search online, you don't even have to switch off the online capability. You could leave the web capability on, but have the instruction that it's not allowed to do it, and it won't do it, right? So like you can really, it's a fine-tuned model. It's your own personal fine-tuned model without you having to do any coding, without you having to build a website for people to be able to use it. One of my things that I was going to do recently was like, oh, I want to build a website so that people can use my custom GPTs without having to like have plus access to it. I'm wasting my time because it's going to happen like post December, like going into January. It's going to be so easy for me to be able to host these things and for you guys to be able to use them without actually having to have a plus subscription. Yes, it will cost me API tokens, but I'll likely have it using Turbo, so it won't cost me very much, and only a limited amount of people are going to get access to it and that kind of thing. So I'm not worried. If it starts nicely, you can set the cost limit, or you could set the amount of money that you want to spend on your API on a monthly basis. So like when you're in it and you look at your usage, it'll tell you like how much you've used, but you can set a limit, right, for how much it's going to use, and then it'll just stop after that, and it'll even tell you on the API like, sorry, you've reached your limit, go increase it or whatever it is. So you can definitely keep from like having to, I can keep from having people like try to jack up my API costs. I ain't gonna go broke. No, not unless you put a bridge in between. So like, unless you set up a secure server in between, then no. But if you do, then yeah. It's, obviously it's a pain in the ass to have to do that. Plus you have to do it on your own site. But no, it's not necessarily the same. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys today was a little bit about like, it's cool. I'm glad like I was able to do this because it's somewhat similar. What I wanted to show you is like how you can sort of like build off the ground with these things without necessarily having to write any instructions yourself, so to speak. You can kind of just like, so what I wanted to do, what we did before is we created a bot, but we did it like start to finish, and without did it start to finish without really doing anything with custom instructions. We just did like basic instructions. I mean, I don't even think we touched on a whole lot. Been working with this guy a lot lately. Still need to finish the Salesforce one. Cody's going to take a while. And the web wizard, I don't know that I think I can get rid of this guy. I don't have the time for all of them, man. Research Rachel is going to stick around. Obviously, Hub Knowledge is going to stick around. All right, so let's, do I have a purpose for a new one? Don't really. I don't know. What question was asked? I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Sean asked, He said that it's great with custom GPTs, but the problem is that they can't use authentication from the website to ChatGPT white label, or so it's like white label bots right now. Which you can't. You like, again, it's not going to be direct through the API, but if you wanted to, you could sort of like double up on the authentication and put one in between. But again, it's like, depends on the data you're using, I guess. If you're going to be using sensitive data, it sucks, but otherwise, and if you are going to be using sensitive data, then go to the extra length to add the extra level of security. So it kind of makes sense in that regard. I'm sure that eventually it'll be the case. Plus, if you were, well, it kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah. So yeah, for now, all things in due time, right? So build a custom bot to do what? What do we want to do? What do I want to make? Build a game or something? Not really. I should, it would help if I came to the table with stuff week to week, right? With a purpose. Because I built like a lot of I don't build a lot of stuff because it already exists. So there's that as well. Yeah, let's build an art bot. Why not? What kind of art bot? Build like a no, it's gotta be like something. Do you know much about Poe? Not a ton. Oddly enough, like as I was about to get into it, custom GPTs dropped. Like it was Dev Week, the same week that I was going to get into Poe. So like, I'm thinking about it at the same time. I know. I was thinking about, you can't white label the custom. You can put it through, well, you can white label the custom and make it by link only or make it private only. But that's neither here nor there because you're still sharing stuff directly. Or actually, well, depends on how much you trust the lockdown, I suppose, because let me see. Does it not do it because that's not a custom one, or because it's not built out? Man, I don't know what I'll close it down to 1, but I swear there's a crazy lag issue going on lately. Yeah, okay. So it does have the ability, right? And you can turn it off. I don't with writing bots because I hope that you guys aren't uploading a ton of shit to a writing bot. You shouldn't be. So what I wanted to show you guys today is like how you can build out like a really nice set of instructions without actually having to do a whole lot of work to do it. That's one of my favorite things to do is to low effort build something mid complex or something with like a medium level of complexity. So we're going to do a custom. I wanted to do it on, there's no point in building a generative art prompting one. You know what? Let's build one that does what I like doing. All right. So we're going to create a custom instruction bot. I'm not even going to mess around. Like, that's the point I'm at now is like, well, what's this? I don't care. Let's just do the configuration, please. Let's open up Midjourney. Don't worry about it. Let's go to general. Yay, caterpillars. Okay, so this is going to be a custom instruction bot, right? Let's see. Imagine a. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, imagine a. Ambience. Yeah, let's just go with that. Not looking for anything crazy. I need to change that AR. What is that suffix? Just do new value. Okay, good. Close up is what I'm looking for. So let's do that again. So we need it to be a 1x1 image. We'll go back over to GPT. Okay. And it kind of sucks because, I mean, like, it's a bit pointless what I'm doing because I use 3.5 to do this. I don't use 4 when I'm doing instructions. So like, bot sequence planning is my 3.5 sequence planner. I'll get into that aspect of things in a bit. But I use 3.5 to do this, so it's overkill to use 4 to do this, but I need something custom to build, so what the hell. Description. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, and then we need to actually write the instructions for it too, right? Let's go over to Midjourney, see what we got. Wow, man, I said close up. I mean, that is way closer than here. I mean, like, these two are pretty close to like this. It's not really like, let's see. Let's put it all as one thought. Okay. Well, that's baking. Back over to GPT. So I want it to become this in the end. But we're gonna, like, that's the thing, is I want it to become this, but what's the point of creating a custom GPT that does this? Again, I guess just for example. All right, so we want it to become this, so we're gonna go and we're gonna make a 3.5 bot. Our icon yet? Almost. Got our 3.5 bot, and we're gonna say, hey GPT, I'd like to create custom instructions for use. Now here's where it starts to, like, this is how it starts to get kind of cool. What's the website you shared for custom GPT directories? You know, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Custom GPT directory is what it's called. .com. Put that in there. Bingo. Whoa! Put that on stream. Click the update. I don't know why it keeps saying that. Like, on my end, it keeps saying, like, oh, are you serious? That's what the update is? That's dumb. Wow. Okay, so, like, see, that's the only thing I don't like about this platform is, like, I don't have control over the size of this effing widget, so I can't, like, tell it to just, you know, go with the wind. Yeah, let's just go. I wish I could, because then it would be more useful, but I'm just gonna have to take that back out. So customgptdirectory.com. I'm gonna post that link today as well after the show. So, all right, back to making the instructions. I'd like to create some custom instructions for use. And so, like, how are we able to use 3.5 to do this? if we need like new datas or something, like I'm sure somebody would probably tell you like, oh no, you need to use, I even said it. It's like, oh, you could use 4 because 4 is up to date and it knows how to do this type of stuff. But they all know how to do this type of stuff. You just have to use the right terminology, right? So like instead of asking it to do the latest thing, you're really just asking it to do something it would otherwise be taught to do itself, right? So I know it's very confusing. I'd like to create custom instructions for use with a language model. Order to accomplish user-based goals, to crafting LP models. Let's start there. Cool. All right. So I know already. I just want to see I know already, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. Please provide more details. Get to the details in a minute. I'm sure that you understand that we're going coding. Whoops. And UTF-8. Cool. All right. Okay. So this model's purpose: create UTF-8 based code. UTF Codify. Yep. For the user, based on their need, or based on their thought. Shouldn't. Well, we'll get to that in a second too. The model should ask the user questions in order to help them better what they are looking to accomplish. Why UTF-8? It seems like it works better. I wish I really do. I wish I had a better explanation for you. One thing that you guys will learn, and I maybe one day I'll get there. I don't know. I don't do like the really technical stuff. I do need to get into it. But I really don't. I don't understand a lot of the super technical stuff here. So what I do is I basically just test things and play around and see what works and what doesn't, what works best and what doesn't. And from my experience thus far, I've tried JSON formatted. I've tried just custom formatted based on like things I was doing before. Like when I first started using GPT, in order to do like single line commands, I would just do like dash and then space and then write whatever the command was. And that worked really well in the beginning when it came to like turning a GPT into a particular persona to help you accomplish something. So when it came to doing these custom GPTs, I was just going by the initial instructions, and then I was going by like the initial instructions with like adding some like dash space stuff. And then I figured that there had to be a method, right? Because if OpenAI has their own, then they must use a method too. So I'm like, all right, well, what's the best method then? And started using GPT-4 to like do the research on it. And GPT-4 came back with like UTF-8, but then it also offered JSON, and then it gave me the sort of idea that like JSON was better and that it would understand it better. And so initially I was trying UTF-8. It worked really well. I wasn't really having issues with it. But then just the hint from the model that, the programming language might work better. I tried that. It didn't. It worked. It was worse. Things just went sideways constantly, and it was not paying attention to its directions. As soon as I went back to UTF-8, it was like bulletproof, man. Like it was so good. by comparison. So I don't know. There might be a better version of doing it. There might be a better way of doing it, but this one works really well. So, I am not the if it ain't broke, don't fix it person. If you guys come across a better method that works even better than UTF-8, by all please tell me. I would be glad to switch to it and let everybody else know. But so far as I can tell, and so far that I've messed around with, this seems to work the best. Okay, so we're doing that. And to proceed, please provide me with an example scenario or specific user instruction request so that I can generate a set of questions. All right, so user instruction request. Okay, user to create instructions for a custom GPT I'm making that will guide users in the best practices. Let's see. Oh man, let's inception this shit. Best practices to RevOps. Sure. Nice. I love it when it does this. Because like you don't like again, like why do all the heavy lifting, right? Let GPT do the heavy lifting for you, right? What's the primary goal or objective you want the users to achieve through these instructions related to RevOps? And to be able to apply the output to projects they're currently working on. Best practices, let's see. Challenges, preferred format. Yep, okay. That's going to get to that. So 2, who's the target audience? Target audience, HubSpot users, HubSpot admins. Another thing that I've kind of learned is, at least when it comes to instructions, and I don't know why. Like, like punctuation is a thing. I don't know why, but like, especially when it comes to instructions, somehow there is a difference between putting the period at the end of the sentence of the instruction and not putting it. And somehow not putting it, it's kind of like when you use like functions and formulas. You don't use like periods too often. So like when you do, it sort of tends to like break whatever it is that you were trying to do. It tends to cause a break. So I think maybe that's why it's without. I don't know. I don't know. I will look it up. Okay, so 3 specific challenges or pain points in RevOps that you want to address in the instructions. The instructions should guide the user application of related to RevOps. Related to RevOps as recommended by HubSpot. There we go. Give me preferred format for these instructions. Straightforward answers with a summarized why behind the answer, and if necessary, what is it? Step by. Cool. All right, 4. Oops. Was that 4? Yeah, it was. 5. Are there any specific industries or niches? Nope. Do you have any particular examples, case studies, real world scenarios that you'd like to include in the instructions to illustrate best practices? Nope. I mean, like, ideally you would, but we're just doing this really quickly. Specific tools, software, technologies related to RevOps that users should be aware of. HubSpot, CRM platform. HubSpot. Let's see. And HubSpot community. One day I'll be a big boy and learn how to spell. Say the same thing to my clients like all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I swear I graduated high school. Cool. Okay. 8. You like to include what? Symbols of special characters. Yes. So here's where you can sort of do the setup. I could say no, right? Let's say no, because, like, you know, again, pretend we don't know anything about this stuff. Okay, we're just answering questions to try to get this done. We don't know anything about it aside from the term UTF-8. Okay, so those are the actual instructions. It almost did it. You saw that, right? You saw where it kind of translated it. Okay, so this is how easy it is. As the codified version. Bingo. And bingo was its instruction name. Okay. Now we've got the codified version. Is there a more? This is always the question you should ask after you get the thing that you thought was like amazing in terms of output. Go further. Is there? Well, yeah, that's a good thing. Spelling and all that. Is there a more effective method of coding to use Okay, so let's find out. However, we could use Markdown. So now it's starting to add a little bit of Markdown in there, right? It's going with numbers instead of hash marks, but hash marks end up being the same thing. And what do you do with hash marks is pretty much like 1, instruction 2, 3, 4. It's very much the same thing, and it's kind of cool because, like, further down the line, the only reason I prefer to use hash over numbers is that you could be down the line and still say number 2 level of importance, even though it's like further down. So this is not too bad. Engage with the HubSpot community through that. Engage with this through that. Remember, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so now we've got the instructions, right, of what the custom GPT is supposed to be doing, right? And this is like, here's where you're supposed to get your knowledge from, understanding the why, HubSpot community, methodologies, right? And like familiarize yourself with this. Okay, so now what I want to do is like make sure that it understands like how to leverage these instructions. Given now this, this is obviously going a little bit further, but okay, much better, like much more broken down, well thought out methodology. you step by step in your process. Kind of. Let's see. Oops. Slider though. Yeah, see, that's like, I kind of don't like that aspect of it. Let's see. We'll see how it acts. We'll see how it acts first. We'll do it from there. All right, so let's start with our basic instructions that we created before. We don't really, let's see. Don't hesitate to support. Oh yeah, let's do that. We'll leave it in there just for nicey nice. So like it's cool because it uses the hash to say like absolutely like read this title. And then let's see, objective, how to leverage the instructions. Yeah, let's just go with that for now. Just to see like how well this performs. Let's get our icon. Boy, that close up though. So good. So good, Midjourney. Oh, by the way, Midjourney is about to get its web interface. So for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, wish I could use Midjourney, but why Discord? Going to be on the web soon. And that to me is awesome because finally the big boy is going to have is going to like be front and center on the web. You've heard of Midjourney. You have also like used a lot of the other people and a lot of the other like image generators, and you've probably used the one on GPT and all these other places. It's just not the same. I'm not taking the time to I'm not taking the time to like do what I should in order to get the image I want, because I want to try to do this quickly, even though like this is on turbo, so it's kind of like, I mean, a lot of people must be doing stuff today. But what, like, it's the best. It's the best model. It is the best image generating model. I've never used a better one. The only ones that like, so you can get really close to this and do some really like different stuff with like your own trained custom image model. Sure. And like use that as like a style application towards stuff, but you will absolutely never, like, you'll have to spend so much time doing that. You'll never get what you can get out of Midjourney with a very small amount of time. All right, so that's gonna be our logo. I really didn't have to 2x it. That's habit. Save it. And now we finally have a logo for this guy. Could have just used Dolly. Could have taken 2 seconds. Didn't want to. By the way, I meant to do it last week, but somebody else did it with like a live version, which I thought was very cool. They did a live version of the same example from Gemini. Actually, let me see if I can find this, because this is worth you watching. That shit from Gemini, that wasn't worth watching. Actually get to, oh, you know what? They do it from this account would be better because it's a lot easier. That way you guys don't have to put it with commercials. GPT-4. Did he actually do it on let's see. Or Gemini knockoff demo or something. And that's really what it should be. No, because that's just writing stuff. No. Oh my gosh. Why is it hard to find this? Is like Google trying to suppress this? Is that what it is? I'll bet you they are. because this should be so easy to find because of the fact that it's such a, like, I don't know. This is so ridiculous. Anyway, what happened was there was a guy who used 4 Turbo to do the exact same demo that they did with Gemini, only it worked, right? Like, he was able to do it, and it wasn't some half-ass chopped up demo. Yeah, you know what? Matt Wolf always does an amazing job, and it isn't his.
Midjourney news.
Let me pause this, and there we go. And it's great because he's already got the sped up version. So Matt, I'm sorry. I know I'm stealing your content and I'm showing it to other people, but you know, you do awesome work. I love you. I love everything you do. It's great stuff.
A little bit of time.
You are making a heart shape with
A little bit. So check this out.
What gesture am I doing?
You are making a heart shape with your hands.
What game am I playing?
You are playing rock, paper, scissors.
Now, like, I know when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, but this is cutting too. Matt just cut the video so that you don't have to watch the processing time of GPT processing what this guy is doing. Absolutely not the same thing as what they did with the Gemini video, right? It's not. Like, it is happening real time. It's just that the processing time is cut out. That's the only thing that's been edited here.
I drew this. Can you tell me what is that?
The drawing appears to be of a duck or a similar bird on water.
So many of the most impressive things that came out of the Gemini demo, we can do right now, today, with ChatGPT Vision, and actually do it with video. And Google.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said that Gemini demo was horseshit to begin with, because it is. Like, you guys spent so much time coming up with a model that's so mediocre. Like, I don't know. If I was somebody who had stock in Google and they did that, and I knew anything about the other models, right? Like, I knew what I know about the other models, would immediately dump my stock and just be like, wow, man, like, you guys you're just not doing it. Like, you're not with it. And you're probably, I don't know. They are, I was talking about it with my wife this morning. Google is the Apple of the AI game. That's what's going on, right? So, like, most people don't care about the fact that, let's see, number of Android phones versus Apple. That's so weird. So weird. So weird that, like, the entire world caters to the smallest group of users. Look at how, like, so not even barely, I mean, the fact that it, like, seriously took a dive, right, for the longest time, and now it is barely starting to come back. And the only reason it is barely starting to come back is because Apple has gone back to basics and made their phones super basic again. Because this time period right here, this was the backlash when people were like, you know what, smartphone, too smart now, want to go back to flip phone. And Apple took huge advantage of it. And so much the better. Good for them, right? Because at least they have some market share. It's only 20%, but it's better than nothing. So that, well, I mean, 20% as of, oh, okay, 30%. Well, it's gotten there, man. It's gotten there. That's pretty good. Honestly, that's really good for, like, Apple investors. That's amazing. For Android investors, not so much, but again, it's still the lying share for nearly, I mean, like, that's ridiculous. Sorry, but that's ridiculous. For people who, for Apple users to talk shit about Android, you shouldn't, right? So anyway, yeah, it's just that Google is not, Apple's definitely not in the game. All they're doing is they're building AI for their own stuff, which is great. But they're not necessarily in the game of doing LLMs anymore. Okay, not even LLMs. It's just like all the AI tech you're going to see from Apple is going to be with regards to its devices. You're not going to see Apple trying to, like, shop its language model out to other people, or, like, even remotely try to say that theirs is better than somebody else's, which you haven't heard. You have yet to hear Apple say our language model is better than so-and-so's. That's it. The only thing you will ever hear them say is ours is the most secure, because that's the only thing they have ever had going for them. We have the most secure platform, the most secure, this most secure, this and that. Awesome. You know, I don't know. Maybe they spent too much money on Apple Vision, I guess. So yeah, I do hope that Google catches up. It's so weird that the company that created the pre-trained model in the first place is the one that's behind. But I guess that's probably because a lot of their better people got poached. I have no idea. Back to work. So we got the instruction designer. Doesn't have any files, so we need to create some files for him, actually. So let's do that with his friend, right? I didn't know that doing that like hides the whole thing. I thought it just would allow me to tab back and forth. Okay, to create. This is gonna be hilarious. Similar instructions, only using, I like to say leveraging, I don't know why. Hash marks and markup. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, but that's the thing. No, not really. Kind of, but not really. Use case. About the same. It's not terminology, it's like subject. No. Same. Same purpose. Yeah, same purpose being used twice. Let's see if we can get some of that. Cool. That's much better. Okay, I like that. Let's go to a notepad. And we'll go and paste that stuff in there. Cool. Okay, framework and generating instructions. Good deal. Okay, and trimmer. Oh, sorry, that's the end task. Okay. And we'll call this task generation. Task generation instructions, actually, task gen instructions. Save it as that. So it'll get saved as a text file. We'll create a new one. And I'm gonna call this one, okay. properly define. Not necessarily use segment and use so what we're looking for here is an explanation. Again, methodology. Yeah, that's it. I think that'll do. I don't want to use emojis ever. I hate emojis so much. I don't know why I have to put both in there. I always have to explain like both emoji and emoticon in order for it to understand like, oh yeah, don't use any of the funny faces. Otherwise it'll just do it. Okay, so now we have our UTF-8 instructions. End of line. Do you know that that works? That actually works. What? Watch. This is funny. I was using it the other day and I couldn't necessarily understand why it works, except for the fact that like it knows it from Tron, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so this is our UTF-8 instructions. Cool. Okay. Now we've got that, or we've got those two rather. Come back over to our custom GPT. Okay, so what did I say that would work? Watch the response here. This is what I find funny. Yeah, instead of saying thank you or anything like that, right? Okay, this is awesome. End of line. Right? Like, it could have said any number of things. I'm not even joking. End of line, it understands that means like, I'm done, like we're done here, we're done talking to each other, like, you know, that's it. Like it really does understand that. You know, here's I don't know, let's try it on tech support Tommy. Even though I'm not done using him. Let's see. That's what I go between. I go between either tech support guy or like 3.5, one of the two. I'm just gonna type it. Did you crap out? I've never been so rude. Nobody's ever just given me that. See? It totally understands that. Okay, why is that funny to me? Tron. Like, if you guys don't, you know, if you guys aren't like, I guess, if you're not like me, Tron is awesome. It's one of the greatest movies ever. Tron Legacy, very, very much just as cool in my opinion. Little bit cooler on the theory front, but very much cool, as cool as Tron. And End of Line was a comment that was used by the master control program in the original Tron whenever it essentially signed off or didn't want to talk to the user anymore, or like its purpose was like whatever goal it was trying to accomplish was completed, it would say End of Line. So it's just so funny to me. I don't know why. Okay, so conversation starter. You know what? We're gonna program that. We're gonna do that next. That's the next thing. So we've got the instructions. We've got our files. So now we're going to do two things. So we've got these, right? And now we're going to, should have saved those changes. Okay, cool. Tell me what. So this is, I find this to be a cool thing. Like, you know, and that's why I like to tell people, like, don't spend too much time trying to like take too many courses that you have to pay for in order to learn how to do some of this stuff, because a lot of this stuff you can do using the tools that you're already using. Okay, so you can see that it knows what the files are. It even knows what the purpose of them is, right? Because that's explained within the file, right? So the instructions, so the purpose of the files are explained within the files and how to like use them and leverage them. But that's not explained in our instructions. So the bot has no idea how to use the files and leverage them because we haven't told it how to do that, right? Okay, so can you please create a set of UTF-8 coded instructions to tell, let's go with the, and then maybe I don't have to do the like, oh, you know what? Did I even look at that? I didn't. This is generic enough. Did I, one thing to pay attention to. Okay, it did it in a generic way, so I don't have to go back on this. One of the things to pay attention to is that it doesn't it doesn't speak in a like third person. Like you want it to make sure that it's explaining it in a way that it's explaining to. You don't want it to write it in a way where it's just explaining it, right? Because if it's not talking like if it's not written as if it's talking to the model, then it's not written as if you are explaining the instructions or the directions to the model. It's just written in a generic format of like, hey, so you know this stuff happens, right? And it's like, okay. Whereas like you can see that this is like the purpose of this guide is to do this, start by thoroughly. So it's like it is talking to the model. It's telling it what to do. Can you please create a set of instructions to tell the model how to leverage these files? Wait, how and when these files for use with answering user queries? I always ask, and I always ask nicely. I always say, can you please? I always say, hey, GPT, how's it going? You know, I never like do this, right? So this is great, and it's fine. It's weird that I said, can you please create a set of UTF coded instructions? And it didn't do that off the bat. It's a little bit weird because that's part of its thing, but it's okay. Good deal. Okay. Do it. No, not like that, man. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself and you're making me look bad. This is terrible. I would like you. It should just know that that's what we're doing and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. But you know, that's why we're teaching it, right? So, wow, man. That's so weird. Here's why this is so weird, because I can do this. No, I don't like I don't know why it tries to do this. Well, because it thinks that it's, yeah, but never mind. It doesn't realize it's talking to a custom GPT that like doesn't run on its own. A brief summary. Yep. Okay. So let's just take this, copy. Hopefully that actually copied. Come off tech support guy. Let's go back to create custom instruction guy. We'll say convert. Oh, can you? Yeah. Let's see if you can separate that. Polar. Okay. Always go the step further. Cool. All right. So now we've got that. Okay, that's good. Conclusion interaction is good. And then we also want all of this. Oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember what we were doing in the first place. We were actually trying to build like a HubSpot thing, right, for RevOps, and I've changed it and done something completely different. So might as well. Let's just keep going in that direction. We've already got HubSpot knowledge expert anyway, so forget it. Summarize key points, encourage follow-up questions. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's see. Okay, and when to leverage the files. Access user query relevance. Isolate key concepts. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Sounds good. Okay, so now maybe do you understand what it is you're doing? Two specific documents. Documents focus on UTF-8 coding. Perfect. Process to a user. Format with so I just want to see if like it knows what it's doing based on what we've already taught it how to do. Kind of, but not really. Look, you could copy and paste this. Couldn't you? I want the model to code the instructions. So it's responses. Cool. So I'm just going to add this little bit in there. Okay. Obtain standards of accuracy, relevant content, information extraction, structured response. Cool. Logically preserving context, accuracy and verification, response customization. Things, summarize key points, encourage follow-up, clarification. I'm not seeing something. Huh. mean, it's not bad, but let me see. Does it fix the problem? I don't know. I get the funny feeling that it won't. I remember what I was saying earlier about the periods too. Like I don't know why here. Like if you see my instructions elsewhere, they don't have periods. But I don't know if this is really like a blocker. It shouldn't be. Would be kind of funny if it was. I always like quirky things because they're like little. It's like little keys on how to do other stuff. Let's see. KB should work. I'm so tired of typing out knowledge base. I think I've typed out knowledge base at least 100 times in the last 2 weeks. Okay, cool. Merge those files with these for creating. Okay. Can you please turn those into? Yeah. Should only see UTF answer. Cut, paste, UTF answer, please. You son of... Why? Why do you have to make me look bad? Like, that's part of the issue. Now, look, granted, if you go and cut and paste this into like this window, it will probably show up with the markup on it. No. See, so like it's defeating the purpose. Yeah, I know, man, because you screwed up. Just stop. Don't even bother. What am I missing here? Why do I keep typing it that way? It sounds like that's the way it's supposed to be spelled. Explain, right? It sounds like there's an I in there. There's rule. Then I use okay a lot too. Yeah, but not you, man. I wonder if that's what it's thinking. No, man. No. This is so hilarious. Now, see how it's, yeah, see, like it's lost it, man. It's off its rocker. People say 4 loses sight of its goal quickly. That's how fast it took 3.5 to lose sight of what we were doing. It's like not even that far into this combo, man. Bye bye. End of line, friend. Okay. Cool. 3.5. Let's go at it again, man. Okay. We've already got like 90% of it. So I don't want to have to like redo it entirely. I'll bet you. Let's see if this even copies and pastes. Yeah, I didn't think so. I found this like slight workaround to this. It's not much of one, but it's better than nothing. And oddly enough, pastes it formatted. Meh. So far. Carries out the, when the model presents to the user. A code. Marked up slash. Okay. I just need to see it in the instructions somewhere. Yes. I don't know about the encourage exploration aspect, response customization, accuracy, file sections addressing the user's query. That's not really what I need. Okay. I don't know. It's like, it's weird. It's like I'm not seeing what I need written in there. Comprehensive exploration. Let me just try it. Let's try it. So I'm going to do encoded response. And okay, let's try that. Since you don't want to write it for me, I'll write it myself. So like I keep using the same prompt for obvious reasons. I want to make sure that it's responding the same in each scenario. So like when I ask it to tell me about the files in the KB, it should always tell me about the files in the KB. Okay, cool. For use with I don't know if that helps. I didn't throw that in last time, but either way, the response should be in the box. Put it in the yes. Now we're talking turkey, baby. Oh man, one line of instruction. We got what we needed. Okay. Cool. So now I think. Oh, all right. So now what do I want to do? So technically he's done. Technically. But there's still a little bit more to go. Just in case you thought it was like copying what its instructions were to this, it's not. Cool. Because the instructions also tell it to do that, like understand the why and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So the next part is sort of a sequence, or what I want to do is like build out a sequence, right? So like you get the custom things at the beginning. And so I want to use one, and it's just going to say start. Let's refresh, right? And so now what I want to do is build a sequence. So that the model will the type, well, not the type. I'll determine the use case. Use case level of extent? No. Extent or velocity. Velocity. Oh, accuracy, use of KB. Whoops. Use case, extent, accuracy, use KB files, and overall style of output. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to basically set up like a starting sequence so that when a user uses this bot, they can hit that start button and the bot will help them to sort of work on, like start to work on those instructions just by asking them questions. Specify your primary use case for the GPT. Okay. Response to each question before asking the next one. Okay, so why that? Because if you don't, it will just ask all of them at the same time. And then what's the point, right? Okay, so now we've got this, we've got our sequence. So here's what we need. I need a codified version of the sequence, as well as a set of instructions on how to use the sequence. There you go. Basically, I told it like, okay, well, look, put the instructions on how to use the sequence in there and the sequence itself so that A, it understands how it's like what it's doing, and then B, it understands like how it's supposed to do what it's doing. All right, and it's using hash marks, which is good because we are using numbers here, but we are using hash marks there. So we're going to say efficient user query processing, conclusion and interaction. Yep. Coming right over the top. Just like Stallone, right over the top. Okay, so these are single hash marks. So these get read before double hash marks, right? So single hash mark instructions, we don't necessarily have to do this. I just don't want them to have the same level of importance as stuff down the road. They are important, but it's not like if you don't follow, it's like if you don't, I want it to do this to understand this and then to go to, it's going to do it in sequential order anyway, but airtight, man. I just like everything to be airtight. Let's see. Model asks the questions. Store the user's response. All can proceed with generating the output on the user preferences using the following method. Method for okay, perfect. I say perfect. I don't know. Find out in a second here. Did you? Did you save though? Okay, hopefully you did. There we go. Okay, we're going to generate content, answer questions, or perform a specific task. Oh, concise and to the point, or do you prefer a more detailed and verbose response? Let me know your preference. Have you guys, I'm sorry, like, have you guys ever seen this? Have you? Have you ever seen a, what is that called? Play or pick, have you ever seen a pick your own adventure interaction with GPT where it's going to do something for you based on your, like, responses to questions it asks you? If you have, it's awesome. If you haven't, it's awesome that you now know how to do it. Okay, how critical is the accuracy? Accuracy is the most important part of it all. We're looking for highly accurate information. Yep. Who doesn't want highly accurate information? Specific knowledge-based files? Nope. No files to speak of just yet. Oops. Okay. I mean, that aligns with it. If you have any specific tasks or questions for the model, please feel free to ask. So let's say, looking at, yeah. Okay. Maybe I did go about this the wrong way. Yeah, it did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh man, doesn't have to be like that. Okay, so for use with another language model. Let's see, the questions should revolve around each user response should wait instruction to be coded for the user. The instructions in their entirety to be shown until the sequence or unless the user asks for them. Okay. Questions should revolve around what the user wants the model to accomplish. And what it wants to accomplish, in what order, and how. I suppose. Not that way. Not writing it that way. Okay. 10 minutes. Oh my god. Is it 10 minutes? Yeah, shit. Okay. Each user response to equate the thing, and come on, brain. Figure it out. Question should revolve around accomplish. And what was the thing? Oh, I hate doing this because if you tab over, it just might disappear. God, we wanted to redo this so that, let's see. Model, but it should inquire. Sixth? What do you think? Sixth, seventh? Until the user that they giving let's say they have finished. Let's try that. Man, why did you write those in like super coded instructions? Maybe that is, but that would be I mean, that'd be cool. There is a bit of that here, so yeah. All right. User instruction, question count 0. So initialize the list. Pretty much. Okay, this will be cool if that's. It's not gonna pick it up, is it? Wow, awesome. All right. Please describe instruction. That's. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Oh, I see. No. Okay, I do want it to go much further than this. Do we have the time for this? We do. Okay. I know I have pretended, like, I've been doing this from the angle of, like, pretend you know nothing about this. Let's just go balls to the wall. It's the last few minutes, so let me just have some fun here. Okay. Instruction purpose. Let's do that. Let's see. Let's do that. I want to do letterman instructions. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I like that. Let's do this way, actually. Like overall, it's going to be instructions to be followed. Okay, should be something like that. I like them apples. How do you like them apples? like that. I like it. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Not the type model. Specific to that answer. Or instructions about recipes on the, let's see. Do you want it to include what? I don't know. Instructions to include details about the measurements. Cool. Alrighty. I told you I wanted to do something really cool. Method for generating. Oh. Let's store user instructions. That's so baller. Okay. Redo. Oh my god, less than a minute left. Come on, let's do something cool. Sweet. Type of instructions you're looking for. Technical. I want to go bit by bit on this one. Let's see how much hold handing it can do for me. And I should hand holding. God. Oh, if I had the time. If I had the time, I would go back and tell it these questions should be like holding the user's hand and guiding them through the process. What is your intention or goal with the instructions? Okay. What you got now? Huh? Huh? What the fuck? We ain't baking no cakes, man. Let's see if it keeps going off the rails. I don't know why it's saying technical instruction question, but well, I mean, because we wanted it to be technical, I suppose. Do you want the instructions to cover specific marketing tools, platforms? Whoops. I'd like to see how many how many it needs to require the model to provide stuff. Nice. Nice. Come on. Just give me the coded box now and we're good. Okay, I mean, and they're ready. Please print the instructions. I shouldn't have to ask that though. It should have just done it automatically. And that's awesome, but like it should have just done it automatically. I'd like you guys to notice one thing though. It automatically wrote how it's supposed to leverage the instructions in there. So like you won't have to write that in there, right? And again, watch, like it's using hash importance. So this is the most important. These are second most important to understand. And then, you know, second to that is also understanding detail, the detailed aspect of the instructions. And then third to that is all of this, but also important is to apply the instructions thoughtfully, as well as all instructions are UTF encoded. So like, except for this, like this, oddly enough, should probably make the output of the next bot only use like this code box, but I also had to tell it to use the code box. I like that it went for its own length of time in terms, or like its own, took its own guesstimations. I don't think I entered a number of questions that it needed to ask at all. So I want to say that it kind of just kept going until it felt comfortable. Nope, never mind. Question count 6. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wanted to ask 6 and then continue to ask if it was done. Okay, never mind. Damn, because that was so cool. Yeah, 6 is pretty good. It wasn't too annoying. So that's cool. All right. So yeah, so that's how you can use GPT to create GPTs. That's really what I wanted to show today. I know it was supposed to be more about like coding your files, right? So it's the same thing. Like I kind of covered, at least I hope I covered everything, because I pretty much covered how to create a GPT. Yes, I used Midjourney to make the icon. You could use GPT to make the icon. Does not matter. You know, gave it a name, gave it the description, and then we started working on those custom instructions using GPT-3.5, right? So we weren't using 4. The importance of that is like, look, you want to work on this stuff, but man, the tokens, right? Like burning up the tokens sucks. So that's why I use the preview window to see how it's going to come out. I don't use the published window because using this is the same thing as me using, because you can't store this conversation, so it goes away. So it's not the same as tokenized use, or I'm sorry, it's not the same as number of prompt use. I keep saying token. I meant number of prompts. You're limited to 40 per 3, 40 per 3 hours, I think. Yeah, 40 per 3 hours. So that's why I use GPT-5 for like a little bit of that heavy lifting, because why not? And I got to tell you, this is a huge improvement over what I was doing. So Sean, like in terms of like what works best now, right? Like when I started, I was like, oh yeah, UTF-8 works real solid. This is disgusting. That's awesome. Like, and I only came upon this by like creating a, you know, pick your own adventure style of interacting with your custom GPT, which I highly recommend. Because again, you're going to have users interacting with your GPTs that may not necessarily understand the full capabilities or the full breadth of what it is that they're doing, or the full breadth of what it is your model can do. And I think that building them in this fashion to where there's a mutual user interaction with the model in terms of what they're trying to create, I think that's honestly, I think it's the best way to go about it. I want to keep on this. I have been keeping on this this subject and this sort of thing. I want to keep on this bot in particular. So we're going to hold on to this guy. And you know, I think we're on what episode like or sub episode 3 of this series. So sub episode 4, the next one, we're going to come back to this. We're going to go a little bit further. Like now that we know that we can do this pick your own adventure style, I want to take it like to the nth degree. So I want to take it from asking a generic question, right, to asking like, yes, it's a generic question, you know, sort of like rooted in what the user is trying to accomplish. But now I want it to be like specific questions to that genre or something like that, right? So I want to go beyond just the generic UTF-8 instructions and how to apply those. And now I want to start getting into like, okay, how do we ask pointed questions to the user to really help them develop their instructions, right? Because ultimately that's what I want this to do. I want you guys to not have to do everything I've been doing in this video. I want to give you a link to this bot, which I'm going to do right now. I'll make this for anybody with the link, so you guys can start playing around with this. And I'll show it off again real quick, because somebody cracked like the back of all of these GPTs, basically, in terms of like what's in them, how do their instructions work, all of that kind of thing. Show that on stream. And I thought it was wonderful. Let me share that link with you as well, because that was just some sick stuff. Yeah, it happened. It's on GitHub, so you can go to GitHub and go to like this repository. It's Linux Jillian, I don't know. Here's another link. Definitely. Let's see. I think that's where I double click to update something, right? It's not, except that it's not updating. So stupid. Okay, so there's the GitHub repository. That's got a series of custom GPTs. Like they're obviously gaining more and more all the time, and then he's just posting them here. The awesome ones to take a look at. I mean, you can take a look at any of them, realistically. And what he's done is he's pulled all the custom instructions off the back of this thing. Wow, he even went and pulled the files in the file content. That's disgusting. Okay, so you can see, similar to the file content that we created, right? Like it's coded file content because it helps the model read it faster, way faster. So no differently than doing your, wow, are you serious? That's all just this. Wow. Damn, this guy put a lot into this bot. Oh wait, no, these are different. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, that is a lot to have shoved in there. I don't know, what's, I want to look this up. Oh man, I want to look that up. Okay, never mind. It's just how it's displaying. Damn it. I wanted what for a second there. I was like, holy shit, can I use emoticons instead of having to write words? Like that would be amazing. You can do that with Midjourney. You can use like emoticons for your input. I realized I'm over 2 hours, guys. I realized that a while ago. I just don't care because I just want to show off cool stuff. Okay, so this guy cracked open this thing, right? Which is sick. It's very sick. This is awesome because I'm actually going to be working on something similar, where I'm going to be working on creating a model that basically reads like chat messages. It's similar to like a lot of the stuff that you guys have seen. Google just came out with something. Google came out with more private model stuff lately than they did with Gemini. Like they shouldn't even, wow, really? They're taking down that? It's called like Music ML or something, maybe. Is it just this? Wow. I mean, that would be sick if it is. Seriously? And then what? Okay. It's not this. Don't worry about it. Music. Like, is it LM? Yeah, I think so. Music LM. Yeah, is it out yet? Music FX? Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, it's Music FX, my bad. AI test kitchen. I probably am not signed up for it. Nope. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure I'm signing my life away. I know. I know. We all do it, man. We all hit the accept. We don't, seriously, we don't do it. Okay, let's I'll show you this real quick. This is Google's new music toy. Create some chill house music with a touch of Japanese trap. Let's see. This would be amazing. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really good. Oh, that's so awesome. Dude, I'm telling you. All right, it's a little too fast. Some slow. This is crazy. I mean, I've used a lot of music makers already, and this is crazy to me. Oh, I also want to show you guys where 11 Labs is at right now. What? Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. That's amazing. That's amazing. I could listen to that for the rest of the show. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's awesome about this. And look, you got like 4 different tracks to go through. Right? Because like it's 2 per generation. So it's like 2 different options I have there. Yeah, I think the speed is what kind of screwed it up there because it's supposed to be chill house, right? So it needs to be like slow. Oh, that's sick. So if you can hear it, it's so subtle, but like it's using just the straight like not MIDI, but it is kind of, it's like using the straight like just Japanese theme to try to do the trap aspect of it too. But man, this track is sick. I'll absolutely keep this. Are you kidding? Yes, absolutely. That is such a sick track, man. Can I like regenerate it at that or something? Right, like what's the purpose of this if I can't regenerate the track? Oh, when I do this, it's gonna do the 90 or the 70 second? This was so well worth going over time for. I want to come back to this stuff. I am doing a next show actually. So like the show after, let's see. Yeah, next show is going to be the wrap up show. It is Christmas Eve. I don't care. And what's the sickest part? The sickest part is that it's free. So like you're not having to do, look at this. The folder is getting so huge now. You're not having to like go like this. This is why I say again, like with the whole like don't purchase apps thing. This was part of Canva, right? And it was an add-on to Canva, not this in particular, but like being able to create your own music, right? There's a ton of create your own music AI apps out there that you have to pay for, right? And there's even in Canva, there's like a third-party thing, but you have to pay for it after a while. I think they have their own native one built in now. It's pretty good. It's as good as this. I venture to say it's slightly better because you can kind of tweak. It's really nice that you can tweak the intensities of it within Canva. But it is. It's really good. Thing is, again, like this stuff is getting better. And if you wanted to tweak stuff about it, you could always, do a 30-second clip one way, then keep the seed, change something a little bit, do another 30-second clip, change, again, keep the seed, add intense to it, and then do another 30-second clip of it. Would be sick. Let's see. And then 11 Labs. Man, the speech synthesis has it's gotten nuts. I actually had to redo mine. For some reason, it acted like it didn't know who I was or something. Like it just acted like my account didn't exist. Let's see, Voice Lab. Yep, so I've got my standard speaking and reading voice. All right. Oh, wow. Weird. Style and content of an audio file you uploaded with a voice of your choice. That's man with the deep fake. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous deep fake right there. That you can upload whatever you want to say and then change it. Like it's one thing when we had the text to speech, like that was pretty good. But speech to speech, why is speech to speech so much more significant than text to speech? Text to speech, you can tell. Text to speech, you'll see in a second. It like where it picks up on things, inflections and stuff like that. It's not fully natural yet. It's not completely there yet. Speech to speech, though, you can speak like you normally would. Who is going to tell the difference? Because all the inflections are there. The way that you speak is there. Everything that you would normally do is there. Oh, that's nuts. I'm sorry. That is just so nuts to me. Okay. Those are my settings. Multilingual 2. Oh, man. I think, Turbo version 2. Huh. Okay. So like before it was not bad. I wish I had an older audio sample to share with you guys. Let's see. Okay. I'm all about it. I'm all about doing a podcast one day that's just
Hey
full
everybody,
generated.
welcome to GPT with me. Happy Sunday. How's everybody? How's your weekend going? Hopefully good. Hope you're getting the rest and relaxation you need.
So like it's not bad. It really isn't, but let's see. I don't know if doing this does anything. I don't play with 11 Labs too much, admittedly. It would be cool if this actually does something, like in terms of it would be cool to be able to figure out, and I'm sure there is.
Hey everybody,
going off the top of my head.
welcome to GPT with me. Happy Sunday. How's everybody? How's your weekend going? Hopefully good. I hope you're getting the rest and relaxation that you need.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. Let me tell you, it's way better than it was before. Really, like it is so much better than it was before. When I first started using, using 11 labs for audio, wasn't that great, and you could really tell where all mistakes were getting made. Came to reflections, noise, or pattern. Should I normally speak? This is gonna be the last one. I'm done after this, I promise. I thank you guys for sticking around.
When I first started using 11 Labs for audio, it wasn't that great, and you could really tell where all the mistakes were getting made, especially when it came to inflections in someone's voice, or the pattern with which they normally speak.
That's pretty good now. That's pretty good now. Yeah, if you're doing audiobook stuff, this is really, really good now. It's so good. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week. Sorry that I ran over like tremendously, but I hope you guys stuck around. I hope you guys got something really cool out of this week. I will definitely be posting links to everything shortly. Today, I'll try to. If not, then tonight. And that way you guys can get your hands on all this stuff and start playing around with it, start messing around with it. And definitely hope that you guys get a chance to use this instruction builder, and hopefully you get to use it to build some really cool custom GPTs. So that is going to do it for the week. Wish you guys a happy Sunday and a good start to your next week. And per usual, thanks for coming along to GPT with me.